Scene one, Apple, take one.
Before I introduce myself, I am well aware that first impressions are lasting impressions, and you don't get a second time to create a first impression. So with that in mind, let me mention that I am not a member of the Mafia or associated with them in any way. Rob, Mr. Rob Stockman, how are you doing? Bet you didn't think you'd be getting a personalized message from me, but you know, we spoke last night for 25 minutes, although I'm not sure we've spoken on the phone before. It feels like I've known you for a long time, and I appreciate your relationship and friendship with my brother and his wife, Bob and Ann Elkhart, and I guess you're in South Bend. So I thought it might just be fun. When I was about 20 years old, I was living with my parents in Wyckoff, New Jersey. I was home for the summer from college, and all of a sudden, one day, I had a profound spiritual experience. It's one of about 2 or 3 in my life. And I happened to see the book Be Here Now by Ram Dass in a bookstore, and I bought it. I still have the copy. And in the back, he had like literally 15 to 20 pages of resources. And 2 of them interested me the most, actually 3 of them. One was the Sufi teachings of P.D. Uspensky and George Gurdjieff. And the third was the Baha'i Faith. I didn't know anything about the Baha'i Faith. I'd never heard of it, but I thought, this is interesting. And then when I went to Northern Virginia, coincidentally, I met 2 people who were also searching, and they'd actually left high school to study with this teacher who would relocate from time to time in different places in the United States, and they actually studied with him in Taos, New Mexico. By October of 1972, I was feeling, that I wanted to become a part of this because I believed in what the Baha'is were doing. I might say, though, that the spiritual environment of these firesides, which was in the basement of a Persian doctor, were very open. They'd ask what I've been up to, and I'd say, I read this Sufi book, or I read this book from Gurdjieff, or I'm checking out, Autobiography of a Yogi. And they would smile and say, that's great, Bill, and what else, and da-da-da. And then maybe after 10 minutes of hearing me rant, they'd say, have you had a chance to look at any of the Baha'i books? And I said, oh, no, but I plan to. I guess I should. And what's also noteworthy is the main teacher at that environment where you had 30, 40, 50 people gathering, of which 20 were seekers. This man, whose name is Abbas, I'll talk about him another time, but he was Persian, but not born a Baha'i. Very unusual, because most Baha'is go back a few generations, and even the Baha'is in the last 80 or 90 years don't really teach the Muslims or have much to do with them. So this guy, he worked for the CIA. We don't know what he did, but he was the most loving, kind, accepting person. It was a wonderful spiritual time, and coincidentally, this Sufi group that was really Sufi, Gurdjieff, Buddhist, actually came to the Washington, D.C. area, and I let them stay at my apartment. What happened after that was still in the great days for me of connecting with Baha'is, of starting to dedicate my life that way, and also responding to the call of pioneering in another country. I went to Brazil for almost 3 years. I couldn't get my permanent visa, so I came back to the States, and I'll save that for another time. and also update you on a couple of things. And if you have time, you can access some of these segments, powerful segments I've been working on, just to tell you about a couple of things. One, I have been in touch with 2 or 3 people at the NSA, and I'm going through the proper procedures in order to have them consider me for re-enrollment. They do have an emailable version of something I wrote when I contacted the NSA in December of 2002. My brother actually faxed me a copy of some of it, but I had no idea that the gentleman in charge of community affairs would have actually saved this, and he actually looked at it before he returned my phone call. That's the kind of work ethic, efficiency, and thoroughness we need in all of our spiritual and public servants, don't you think? So anyway, let me send you by email both some things to look at and, more importantly, attachments to various segments on Vimeo. Vimeo is a professional version of YouTube, and it doesn't have any advertisements. The sound quality's much better, and the video quality is a little better too. So anyway, Rob, thanks for your time last night. Let's hope and pray that this moves forward if that's what's meant to be. Okay? Take care. Greetings to your wife, Mana, and hope to speak to you soon.